All right. Okay, so we're live across 3 platforms now. Normally when I go live, I do 3. I do
Okay.
Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and Periscope at the same time. Like I have a setup in my office. So I try to, again, kind of maximize reach and impact. So for those that are watching on my Facebook page, I am here at the SBDC Sierra Vista Small Business Development Center office, the downtown center at Cochise College. I'm here with Jacqueline, who is your title technically Business Analyst? Business Analyst at the SBDC. Jacqueline has been starting, which is awesome, like going live on the page. And that's good. Like that's just, I love it because it needs to happen.
Yes.
It needs to happen. So that's really exciting. So Jacqueline invited me to come in today to have this quick conversation about how to stand out in an oversaturated online space. And that's everybody. I don't care what you sell. Like your industry is saturated. It's everybody. Everybody has saturation. Everybody has competition. Everybody has that. You have other people that are doing what you do, and that's part of that is because it's so easy to start a business these days.
It is. It's easy, and then there's more and more competition because it's not just in your local communities anymore. It's a worldwide thing because you're now online and you're told you have to be online.
Yeah, which I totally agree with.
And you do, but how do you then reach people when you now have, instead of 1 or 2 competitors, now when you're competing with a world of competitors?
Right.
And I think that's really important because it is hard when you're trying to come up with a marketing plan and saying, okay, I have to be on Facebook, I need to be on these platforms, but then how do you stand out on those platforms? And I think that is a question that even I struggle with in trying to, with the SBDC and creating a marketing plan and I guess, where are things even going? Because I think sometimes we get stuck in these small boxes of, okay, I'm on Facebook, I have a website, and I'm not seeing any benefit of this.
Right. So I'm gonna be a little controversial here. So when it comes to the whole standing out and being different, I was just talking to somebody about a differentiation strategy yesterday. There's a lot of tools and there's a lot of hacks and people all over the place are giving advice, but I feel like there's really only one thing that any business, and when I say business, I'm specifically talking about entrepreneurs, small business owners, where you as the owner and the visionary behind the business is also the person that's sometimes turning the widgets or packing the orders or, interfacing directly with the customers. And that one tip is to lead, this is how I phrase it, I love to use this terminology, lead with your secret sauce. And what that means is lead with the things that are authentic to you, that make you as the person different. And I'm going to talk in a second about how big corporations are doing this. I'm going to give you guys an example. But I tell business owners, entrepreneurs, small business owners all the time that what makes you unique, your unique story, your unique characteristics, the attributes, maybe the passion that brought you to the business, that cannot be copied. Because I could say, okay, so you need to make a marketing plan and you need to do this,
going live,
and you need to be doing this,
be posting everything,
and everybody's doing that. So like those are great tips, but everybody's doing it, including your competition. So if you end up doing the same exact thing as your competition, you're not really standing out.
No.
You're not really setting yourself apart. That's where leveraging the power of your story comes in. That's how you can make it clear that people should choose you over your competition. Or you might also, and nobody wants to think about this, you might also turn some people away from you, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because you can't serve everybody.
And you can't please everybody.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that we have to remember. And that's why we talk a lot about who your market is, because there are going to be a lot of people out there that you're not marketing to.
Right.
And so be unique and tell your story, and you will attract the people that need to be attracted to you.
Right. I mean, I believe in, these days and times, because we're online, it's so easy just to throw up a Facebook page, to throw up a YouTube channel, to create a website. A lot of people business owners, entrepreneurs will say, well, I want to be different, but then in the process of starting the business, they do exactly the same thing that everybody else has done, which is that's backwards. You can't be different and follow the beaten path
that everyone has done.
You can't do it.
Yeah. I think a huge thing nowadays is that we're not thinking outside the box. And when anyone suggests, and this is just from my experience just here, when you start suggesting other things, they're like, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I think we have to stop being negative and say, can I actually do that? Is that possible?
Exactly.
And yes, maybe it's not being done yet,
but that doesn't
but
mean
maybe I'm the first person to do it.
Exactly.
And now I'm standing out, and now I'm different,
Exactly.
and now I'm doing something different.
Exactly.
I think we need to start being more yes people. As
Yes.
a small business, you have to be a yes person. You have to say,
Yes.
hey, guess what? Not everything will work. And maybe it doesn't work.
Be okay with that.
But guess what? You tried.
Exactly.
And you did something, and now you're thinking outside the box, and you never know where those things might lead. Either. You never know who that might affect, who that might attract, what that will teach you in the process. Correct. I think that that's important too, is to try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things.
Right. And those of us, that are the person behind the business, we don't have hierarchies of, we have to get permission and then, it has to be approved and you have to write it up on a memo. We don't have to do that. All we have to do is decide that we want to try it. So getting back to leading with your story and showing up in the unique way that makes you different. So there are clear examples of national, global corporations that are doing this. And I'm going to give you two.
Yay.
One is Burger King.
Okay.
Burger King has the king, the person.
Uh-huh.
People think that guy is hilarious, and some people, that's what sends them to Burger King.
Can I just tell you, so I don't eat fast food. I haven't in like 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the freaking Burger King commercials.
Because that dude is hilarious.
And it's humor. And I actually think humor, when I was working in the hotel industry, humor was my thing. Like, I would always try to get people to laugh. Because I always said, it's the Maya Angelou quote that says, they forget what you say, they forget what you do, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
Exactly.
And I think that laughter, it's like that Monster Inc. thing where it's laughter is more important than like fear even. Like, I think that humor is such a great thing to do, and I love the Burger King commercials. If I did eat fast food, I would totally do Burger
Another
King.
example, still in the food industry, KFC.
Okay.
KFC resurrected Colonel Sanders probably about 5 years ago, right? And now the gag with Colonel Sanders is every commercial, it's a new person playing Colonel Sanders. And it's so overt that that's not the same guy that was in the last commercial. It's a gag now, but they're leading. They've put a face on the business. So when you think about KFC now, you don't think about a logo. You think about the silly guy. Like, I think now the commercial is whoever's playing Colonel Sanders is dancing with Mrs. Butterworth because they have a chicken and waffles promotion. Oh, and just recently in my group, I shared that they did they created a virtual influencer, Colonel Sanders.
I saw your article and it was hilarious. It was super funny.
And that's the thing. That is how these global corporations are leveraging the power of their secret sauce, which is that person.
And because even these big companies are now having to compete on a global market and an online oversaturated world, and they also have to stand out. So you think, okay, fast food, I can think of 10 fast food places on the top of my head. And now they're also competing in the same market that small business are competing in. And so you have to think, it's such a tough world.
It is. But I think that's where we have the advantage. Small business owners have the advantage
because you don't have all that red tape, all the bureaucracy. We also don't have to create a person to represent our business. You are the person.
We are the
person. Your business.
We are the person. We can show up and tell the story of how the business, I like to call it the business birth story. And we can tell it in a way that is compelling because it's the truth. We don't have to pay somebody to do
and
that.
it's your story.
Exactly.
You're not having somebody else tell your story
Exactly.
for you. It's you and it's your story, and that's what makes it unique. You are, I guess, what makes your company unique.
Yes, the secret sauce. That's how we stand out. That's how we position ourselves to be different than somebody that's selling exactly the same thing that we sell. If we just I would love to see more business owners, more small business owners just show up unafraid, like step out from behind the website, step out from behind the logo, tell the story, because there are some people that are going to be attracted to that story. And that's going to foster a sense of loyalty that will have people sleeping outside to buy, like that's why people sleep outside to buy concert tickets, because they've fallen in love with those performers as people.
Yes.
And we can do that. We can leverage that same power.
And again, you're not going to please everyone.
That's
and
right.
I think that fear of coming out and being online as your person, I think that's the fear, is that people are going to get to know me. Why do people don't like me?
Yeah.
But people aren't going to like you. I'm sorry.
People don't like you anyway. They just haven't told you.
Guess what? People do like you too, and there has to be that balance of you can't please everyone, and not everyone will like you or your brand or what you're doing, but people will.
Right.
And those are the people that will become loyal to you and that will want to be a part of your business, whatever that is. They're going to want to be a part of your company and a part of what you're offering.
Right. I know of there are big name personal brands that I follow that will do things with the intent of turning people off, because they know that if there's a person sitting on my email list that will never buy from me, I would rather them not be on my email list.
I'd rather them unfollow me, unlike me, because now they're not going to comment. Now they're not going to be doing that stuff, and I don't need them.
There's a guy that I follow, Michael Hyatt. He used to be like the editor of Thomas Nelson, Christian book publisher, and now he has a personal development brand. He's a coach and things like that. So he will do things like kind of like start a campaign where he sends an email every day for like 30 days. And part of the intention of that is to re-engage his list, so that the people that don't want the emails will unsubscribe. Yeah. Because you only want people on your list following you that will be engaged. Yeah. That's the point. And we kind of have to shift our minds about that and recognize we're not going to serve everybody. We're not for everybody. So let's get busy trying to find the people that will connect with us, and not worry about the people that won't.
And so I think there's one other thing, and I think consistency plays a role, especially online. If you're not consistent online through any of your marketing, and I think that's just something to bring up also, is that you do have to be consistent. It's hard for a small business owner. You're running your business, you're making your product, you're doing A, B, C, D, E, and now I have to do social media. Yes. And I need to come up with a marketing plan. But to be honest, I mean, you do have to be consistent, and also it's your business. This is how you're going to build your business. Right. And I mean, it's a time suck. It is, owning a business is, and I think that we also have to just accept that and work with it. Right. Right. And not be and instead of being resentful for it, is to accept it as part of the process and be happy to do it. Right. Right. So I think you can be authentic, but if you're not consistent, that you're going to never get that following and that loyalty that you really need to actually be successful in. Because it does take consistency. That's, again, the reason I remember the silly KFC commercial is because I might have the TV on in the background while I'm working, but it comes on 7 times in an hour. And we, like I said, we see these global brands do things, and as a small business owner, it's easy to think, well, I couldn't possibly do that. I couldn't possibly. But if we get past the medium and focus on the strategy, we can duplicate it. And again, it's saying no. Instead of saying, how can I? Exactly. How can I be more like this? Exactly. And we're just saying, well, I couldn't ever do that because I'm not that size and it's just me. Instead of saying, Well, and maybe they're doing something that's really great. Maybe that there's something that I can then.
How can I do this on my level?
Then I can actually do it on my level. You can't do it on their level.
Right.
Let's be honest, okay? But there's lessons to be learned and things you can take away and then implement into your own business.
And that's what I love to do. I love. I'm one of those deep strategic thinkers anyway. So I will see something, and I love trying to break it down and figure out how it can be duplicated on our level. And then I turn it, I turn it into lessons. We share it. I talk about it in the group.
I'm not going to lie. I read her blog and then I implement her stuff into what I'm doing. So, I'm serious. So
that means it works.
It's working.
That means you are a walking testimony. That means it works. And but we should always be learning, because the same way you learn from what I share, I follow other people and learn from what they share. Like, that's what it is.
Yes.
It is a constant. It's in Lean Six Sigma. It's called Kaizen, and it means continuous improvement. It's a constantly running machine. For as long as you own a business, you will have to be growing and educating and learning more. Otherwise,
it's
everything's going to stall.
constantly changing.
Right.
And we have to be aware of that, because if you're not, you will get stuck.
Yes.
And you will not move further, because especially in today's world where technology is faster than it's ever been, online is faster than it's ever been, and business is changing faster than it's ever changed. And it's hard. I mean, that's hard to kind of keep up with it, but you do. And it's just part of being a business. Yeah.
It's the name of the game.
And if you're consistent, I think then those things become less of an issue, because you're constantly then seeing it in terms of what you're doing.
You see the rewards. You see the rewards.
And you're also, because you're engaged with your people on a more regular basis, you're getting better feedback. You're more aware of what people want and what they need. Whereas if you're not, then all of a sudden you try to engage in the same way you engaged a year ago, it's not going to work anymore, right? So I think that's something that consistency also breeds continuously knowing what's happening in the world and staying on top of it.
And you're right. And social media is great for that, to test those things. I remember when Periscope first came out. Periscope came out in like 2015, I think. And when I got on it, I challenged myself to go live, and I went live 5 days a week for about 9 months. No, 5 days a week. And now, to think about it now, I'm like, how did I get anything done? But I did it. So, I would get up early in the morning. If I had an early session or early meeting, I would go live before, I did it for 9 months straight. And to look back on that, like you were saying, for the people that need to be able to see feedback, live streaming is a great test. Social media gives you that instant gratification, so to speak. You get to see how, when I started this, I was only having this amount of views, and now 30 days later, I'm averaging this amount of views. You get to see the growth, and for some people, that keeps them motivated to keep going.
Yeah. And I think you make a good point, because at the beginning, consistency is going to look different than it will in a year. And consistency is going to be different for every business, whether it's 2 times a week or every single day for 9 months. Well, then in 9 months, you can then reevaluate what that's going to look like. And that's where having a marketing plan or having an idea of kind of how you want it to grow is important, because it will change. And that consistency isn't, I'm not saying you have to do it 2 times a day, every single day. It will depend on your business, your platform, and what you want to achieve. And part of that, especially for a new business or a business that's just now, because we've been around forever, and now I'm really trying to just here even build up,
rebrand and reestablish
in the modern world.
Well,
what that looks like now is going to be so different, because it does take a lot more work at the beginning, because I'm trying to build something. Versus, something that's already built, and that can change. So, it might seem like so overwhelming right now, but if you think about in a year or 2 years, what that will look like is it shouldn't be quite as overwhelming as it is now.
And that's the importance of having a plan. When you have the plan and you know what the goal is or the objective related to that plan, that's the thing that keeps you from getting all emotional and saying, I quit.
Yeah.
No, you got a plan.
You have a plan.
Follow the plan.
And when you don't have a plan and you don't have goals, and I love all your goal stuff, but we won't get into that because that's like another hour-long thing. But having an actual measurable goal will help you to stay consistent.
Yes.
Until you meet that goal. And then when you meet that goal, guess what? You come up with another goal.
That's right.
And that might be so different than this other one. And that's why where that plan comes into being is you have the goal and then you have a plan based off of that goal.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that goal, it's much easier to give up. Where versus if you have that goal, then that goal is kind of in your mind and your life,
and it guides you.
And it does guide you, and it motivates you.
Yeah.
Even in those moments where it's really hard. So, well, I think that's really all the time we have. Because I try to keep these short. It hasn't worked out so far.
Short but meaty.
Yes. That's so good. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. It's awesome.
No problem.
And I think it helps my viewers because they're like, I don't have to just listen to this one person talk.
Well, mine too, because you know they're used to seeing me sitting in my office yelling at the screen.
Yeah. I love it though. So follow Monique. I will put her links and everything below in all the comments and notes because I could spend my whole day just watching all her videos and reading her articles. So,
and I have to go back and I'll edit the caption on mine with the page for the Small Business Development Center, because especially if you're watching this as a Southern Arizona small business owner, this is where you need to come to get the help that you need. And we'll be working on classes and workshops and stuff like that to keep this going, because you said something that made me think about
a class.
And it's a class that I already had and I taught it years ago, but maybe it's time to bring it back.
Let's do it.
I'm
trying to plan a class for every month the rest of the year as much as I can, just to try to re-engage the community and our followers. And I actually was thinking yesterday about even hosting an online class for other people.
We did that.
Even outside of just our area, to get some even more information, to dive deeper into some of the stuff we're talking about. Yeah. And if any of the viewers have an idea of something that they want to know more about, hey, let us know, because we are totally open to ideas and feedback. Feedback is a gift for a business, and I love feedback, negative or positive. Just let me know what you think. Exactly. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in and for watching this on replay, and I will see you next week, and you'll see her whenever she's on.
Probably be later today. I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll figure it out. All right, you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.